If God's original idea had been realized, then there would have been no need of a Messiah or of God's providence to save humanity. Adam's family, though it was merely a single family, would have been the center of the clan, of the nation, and of the world. It would have been the blueprint for all future families. It would have been the model for the realization of God's ideal world. Because of the fall of the original human ancestors, God's work of salvation had to begin. Salvation history had to be repeatedly extended through the complicated and suffering courses of the Old and New Testament ages, culminating in today's completed Testament age. God's ideal of the true family and the heavenly kingdom, which he wanted to realize through Adam's family, was destroyed because Adam and Eve fell away from God. Due to the fall, this present world is far from the good world of God's ideal. In fact, today's world is a false world in that it is flooded with self-centered love. This came about because Adam and Eve became false parents based on false and self-centered love with Satan. They multiplied evil rather than goodness, creating a false family and passing on a false life and a false lineage to their descendants. Thus, false clans, false nations, and a false world came into being. Therefore, the goal in God's dispensation of salvation is for a man and a woman, representing Adam and Eve, to be restored as true parents centered on God's true love, so that the true family can be formed. From them would eventually flow the true clan, the true nation, and the true world as originally planned by God. In other words, the seed from which God's true love, true life, and true lineage can grow must be created. My dear friends, have you ever wondered how a world filled with such evil and corruption could come from a God of love and goodness? If you read the Bible carefully, you will see that the fall of man involves the loss of Adam's entire family. First, the position of parents was lost through the fall of Adam and Eve. Second, the position of children was lost as Cain murdered Abel. God's blueprint for an ideal family and world perfection was lost. Therefore, to restore the original family, God works in reverse to reclaim the positions of Cain and Abel, and then the positions of a true mother and true father. This pattern of reconciliation of Cain and Abel as the foundation for restoring the true parents has been God's consistent formula throughout the history of restoration. The separation of fallen mankind into Cain-Abel division occurs over and over again in Judeo-Christian history. God, first of all, separated fallen mankind into two brotherly sides of Cain, symbolizing Satan, and Abel, symbolizing God, to work out the hatreds resulting from the fall. God used the method of having Abel be hit first and sacrificed. As a result, Abel could stand on that very foundation to embrace Cain and recover the blessing given to the elder son. For example, the religion that most advances the purpose of salvation always receives Satan's most severe persecution. It walks the path of constant opposition, yet continues its sacrificial effort to save the sinful world. Likewise, good people always stand in the position of being struck first and sacrificed. Looking almost anywhere in our fallen world, it is easy to notice struggles between good and evil, similar to the struggle between Abel and Cain. These struggles start in the conflict between each individual's mind and body. The mind, which represents the Abel side, struggles to overcome the body, which represents the Cain side. The struggle within individuals has expanded to the family, nation, and world. As a result, humankind has always been divided into two opposing camps, one good or Abel-like, and the other evil or Cain-like, locked in struggle at every level. It has always been God's intention, however, that both sides be restored, not that one triumphs over and destroys the other. An example of this division is the thief on the right side of Jesus' cross, who represented Abel, and the thief on the left, who represented Cain. So the key to God's work of salvation has always been to unify such divided sides based on his ideal in order to build a foundation on which to reclaim the true mother and true father.